Remember, I talked that I wanted to build a graveyard for my legacy challenge. So here we are in Vampire's world and I'm ready to build one. So I wanted to build a small chapel in here somewhere, maybe in the very back of our lot. And I thought that I might do like some kind of a fountain area, and I want to make it here like another entrance to the graveyard, because here we have a tiny pathway leading to the lot. And in here, in the front, I want to make like a pathway. In here we'll have like a statue, and all the way around we'll have either graves. And I thought about maybe making a pond somewhere here or here. And this is gonna be our tiny chapel, and I thought that I might make something interesting with that. And by something interesting, I thought that of course I will use the Castle Estate kit, because I recently got my hands on it, so I'm really excited to use that in my build. And I think I'm gonna use it for all the windows and all the wallpapers we are gonna use. Looks like perfect for the graveyard, like it's all black, it's all dark and gloomy, literally perfect. And what I wanted to do, we'll have a basement in here. In that basement, I thought that I might place like a tiny vampire's hideout. As for here, I might place this vampire's fence for now. I'll make some kind of a gateway in here, I think, so that it's not accessible by anybody. I think that maybe this get-together fence will go in here, or I might use some kind of vampire's fence. I don't like this one inside. This one matches as well. And as for the brick, Castle Estate, of course, who is asking? Like, I think it's obvious. So now it looks like a dark and gloomy basement somewhere in here. And in here, I think I'm gonna place some of these columns. Oh, these fence clips. Why? I do not like that. Why do you clip? You were the perfect one for this job. Why did you decide to clip? Maybe because these gates are not supposed to be used inside, but I'm using one. I'll place a bush in here. I'll hide that later. And as for the whole exterior, what else I wanted to place is this bell from my wedding stories. I'm gonna size it down a couple of times. Just place it here like almost on the edge. That looks okay. And I thought that I might go for some of these decor parts from Get Together, as if the columns do not just end bluntly, as if they're just continuing all the way up. Maybe I can even place not the bell in the front, but the same pike. I think that the bell will look better, so I will place one. I think it looks like something you might see on a graveyard. I think it does, so I'm gonna leave it the way it is right now. So I think that in here we might place like some kind of an altar, and instead of that I think I might go for Vampire's Kit, Vampire's Pack. It's not a kit. No more kits, please. In my imagination, this might be a book with the prayers. So maybe people who believe, they come in here, they can read something, maybe they can say goodbye to the one they love. And I might place here a tiny platform. I might go for something like that. Simple, nothing at all, and I might even get rid of the whole basement. I was thinking the basement might be a good idea, but now that I think of it, I might not need that at all. And we are placing a coffin. I do not know which one I should place. I might use this like fancy and expensive one, or I might use this one. I like this one better because it looks simpler, and I might do a silly thing to say so, but I will place here this huge Vlad's portrait. And as for the lights inside, I'm just going for these candles, I think. Does this look weird for you? For me, it doesn't, so I'm gonna leave it the way it is. And as for this whole area, I might place these columns again, and I might go for something fancy on the top, like this, so that it's like the whole stage for a grave. I know that it looks maybe a bit weird, but I like it. I like the creepy vibe of this whole area. I'm gonna place a couch so that your Sims might sit in here. I might go for this vampire's bench. We have this candlelight, and I think I can remove this part. And for more vampire stuff, more portraits, I think, like that. I think that I might use these graves as a filler for our graveyard, because for now I do not have any graves to place in my graveyard. I know that must be creepy, and that must be a bit concerning, but I kind of like that, so I'm gonna do that anyway. And as for more lights, not for more lights, I think I'm gonna remove this light, and instead of it, I'm just gonna place a couple of more candles on the side. And as for the wall decor, I think we can go for some spider webs, as if, nobody was visiting this area for quite a long time. Make it all look like really creepy. I want to place a lot of this stuff around, and I wanted to place some cracks on the wall, as if this building is so old that it goes off already. And I'm placing some in the corners of the windows, like, you know, in real life, when the brick starts getting old, it starts cracking primarily by the windows, because the windows are like a natural, not natural, they are like gaps that people did put in there. So it is like a weak part of the whole construction. So usually corners of the windows do go all cracky first, so I'm gonna embrace it in here as well. That must be it for the cracks and for most of this inside area, I think. And for now, I think that it looks perfectly creepy at night. So that is what we have for our tiny chapel, and I was thinking that for the whole other lot, what I will need to do is scoot the whole thing a bit closer to the front. And I'm thinking I need to lay out the lot, kind of, to say so. So this is the middle of our lot. And in here, I wanted to place a statue, like in the very middle. And in here, right of the area with the statue, I wanted to have our tiny chapel. And I think that I need to place the fence right away. I'm gonna make it simple. I'm gonna use this vampire's fence just all the way around the lot. And I'm gonna place this doorway in here, and now I'm not sure how I should place the fountain. I wanted to place a big fountain, and now it won't fit, and I do not want to scoot it all back. I wanted to use this one, but it's huge. I might use it somewhere here, like in the middle, or I might scoot it like to the very corner of the lot, maybe leaving like one tile white walking space around. I think that I might place something like a grill area around here with at least one park table. I think I'm gonna do that right away. I'm gonna use this grill because it's kind of generic and it matches the whole metal fences stuff. It's weird, I know that we have like a coffin in here and grill in here. Grill and more sounds weird. And as for the picnic table, we need a picnic table in here, if you didn't know. I'm gonna place a couple like that. Or I can place just one. Make the grilling area much smaller. Like, we do not need that much space for grilling in the graveyard. And yeah, it looks so wrong. And I'm at loss. I do not know what I should do. But what I'm thinking is I might just switch it all around and place the whole grill area in here so that I don't have to bother with it being not where I want it to be. And so that we have like a grill in here, we have our trash can outside, we have our table in here, and then we do not have all of this area. And this way, I will be able to just connect this all in here with a rounded piece, so that we can place a statue in here. I will be able to place like a tiny pathway all the way to there. Here we'll have like a tiny flower bed. Here we'll have a pond, and here in the front we'll have some graves. So for the pond, just like that, I know that it's not that like interesting on pond, it's just round, it's just circle. And I think that for this pond, I'm gonna go to debug. And for debug, I'm usually using Better Build By mod. It's like a really useful mod. If you do not know, please try that. It's really a game changer if you're using debug a lot. And I might place some stones all the way around the pond. I might not line the pond completely with the stones. I might just place a couple of them on the sides. I'm gonna place some smaller rocks all the way around so that it's kind of matchy. And I thought about using some of these bigger plants from vampires, like here, as if it's growing from the stones. I might like the way the graveyard looks when it's kind of dead, so I'm not sure if I should. And I thought about placing a tiny grave in there, and I think that I forgot about that at all. I think it looks matching for my graveyard I'm doing right now, so I might leave it here as well. And I'm gonna place maybe a couple more of these seeds in here. I might place some of these grasses around so that it looks a bit overgrown. I like the overgrown look in my builds. I think if you're watching me for some time now, you could have guessed that already, but I like the overgrown look. And I think that must be the pond done. And for the whole exterior, I think that I might use this tiny table in here with black metal on it, and I will place some of these lights. I like that it's like candlelit. More trees in here in the corner, and I do not mind these trees clipping with this fence because it's a metal fence. In real life that would clip as well, so I do not mind clipping in here. And I think that some more grasses, maybe this dead ivy would go in here, as if it's like some kind of old and dead area. And I think that I might go for some more decor, and I can place a couple of tombstones in the area. I might make it look as if it was a couple, so that like they're long forgotten. These are long forgotten graves. Nobody's visiting them for a while, but there are two graves in here. And I might set some of these wildflowers growing underneath. Where are they? And some of the dead ivy, of course. I want to place it in here as well, so that we have a bit more to a forgotten look. Maybe I can place a pot in here, a flower pot, and I will be able to place roses in there, and that's what we'll have in here. I think that it looks kind of cute and it looks kind of sad. That's what I would say. The majority of our graveyard done actually. And what I was thinking is I might place some lower fences on the sides, these ones like that, so that this whole area is kind of fenced in so that it doesn't clip with the area around. And as for here, I'm gonna remove the fence for now, but I think I'm gonna make like a rounded piece in the center that it's gonna look something like that. I think that I can just open up the areas in here by the entrance, so that in here we'll have like all the way around our graves, and in here I'm not opening anything, and I think that I can make pathways like all the way up here. I think I'm gonna go and try to line it all up with some terrain paint so that I can get some idea of what I'm doing. And my idea was to maybe like line it up like that somehow, so that we have like weirdish looking pathways all the way around. I'm gonna do like something similar up on this side, so we have like this tiny pathway to our sitting area, and in here we'll have like this weird looking pathway to our graves. I'm not trying to make it like all perfect and lined up, but I'm just trying to think of what I can have in here. I'm gonna remove a couple of these fence pieces in here as well, and I think that I can fit here a couple of more graves. I can even place some of these crooked ones so that they are like the oldest ones on the whole graveyard. One right next to this one. I can place some kind of a weird statue from the pack, something like this by one of the graves. And I might place something like that in the middle of our graveyard in here, like a centerpiece. That was actually my primary idea for the whole graveyard in here. And I'm gonna place here some fences in every single corner so that it doesn't look as weird and empty. And I might place this lady on the platform because now she looks a bit weird. My idea was to make like a tiny centerpiece like that. It's not so tiny, I know, but I can make like the whole rounded centerpiece in this graveyard like that. I hate how this is so visible underneath these platforms. I might need to place here some planters maybe or stuff like that. Or instead of this looking like that, I can lower it down. I might color it maybe in grass like that, and I can place some flowers around so that it looks a bit better maybe. I might place some of this overgrown ivy as an underlayer. I think I'm gonna do that first. I can plant here some of these yellow flowers in a couple of spots. Maybe I can place here like this big grass so that it looks like a flower bed it was. And I think I can place here a couple of rose bushes on the sides, as if they were growing here at one time, but now they're all are dead, and that is why there are none anymore in here. I'm not sure that I like how it looks like so gray. It's difficult to match dead bushes around. So I think that I might even go for something like that, as if it was not planned to be growing in here, but it does, sorry. And I'm gonna raise it up a bit. I might even place some stones again, just to match all we have around the area. And I think that it looks much better with stones, actually. I think that that is like a perfect thing for a creepy graveyard I'm going for. I think that that is the majority of graveyard down, and here we'll have only a couple of more trees and some graves themselves. And I think that I will go for more like chaotic look for the graves themselves. I do not want it to look like too uniform. And I'm gonna plant like a couple of these trees so that we have at least something going on. I might place something like that, but I'm not sure that must be a good idea. I can even plant one in here and place a couple of graves underneath that, but I'll need to place some underlying bushes in here as well. And some underlying ivy. And same in here, maybe I need to place some flower patches in the areas like that so that it doesn't look as sad and empty as it does right now. Maybe more of this ivy in here because I've used it I think in only one spot in the whole build, and it is a pretty flower. not like so pretty, but it kind of looks decent for the graveyard, I think. And I am okay with it clipping a bit into the road, into the whole outside area, as if, you know, it really did overgrow. More stones in the area, I think they're never extra, so that we have like some patches with stones in the area. I think that I can go for something like that on the sides. I'm not sure if I should go for some more vampire stuff on the bottom, because I want to place some like underlying bushes in here and there, but I don't want it to look like too intentional, if you get what I mean, I think. Maybe I can make it like that, so that we have like a formal entryway to here, and then this area is long forgotten and overgrown. And for it to look prettier on the outside, I might go back to here, place a couple of bushes on the front. So I'm gonna place like a couple of planters in the front of my build, and I will just place there a couple of rose bushes. I would like to place maybe something not so dramatic, because I think that roses are kind of dramatic, but I think that it looks exactly like the graveyard of my dreams. I know that it sounds so wrong when I put it like that, but it looks like the graveyard I want to build. And I'm just gonna go around now and place some graves. All right, I'm gonna place some of these vampires' graves around here, so that the whole graveyard doesn't look as sad and empty. Does it look random? I think that kind of it does, but I'm not sure that that is a bad thing. I think that maybe it is a good thing that it looks a bit random. I believe that this way it looks kind of better, and I'm not sure that I've ever imagined myself telling that, you know, this graveyard looks good. I don't think that I've ever imagined myself telling stuff like that. And I might go around and maybe even place some more of the wildflowers around here. And I might place some of these flowers from Cottage Living. I like how they place like completely randomly all the way around here. More of these on this side, I think will do. I might redo the pathways I did, so I'm gonna go around and maybe fix some terrain paint I already did place. I'm not sure how I should do that. I should go around the flowers, that's what I'm thinking for sure. I'll have like several pathways all the way around here. I know that Sims won't go on these paths. That's like for sure. They are not smart enough to do things like that. And I'm not leading pathways to every single graveyard, as if you know, people are not visiting everybody. People do not visit everybody. And I'm gonna go around here and do something similar. So I'm leaving it like that. And I think that I'm gonna add some dirt underneath my paths so that it looks a bit more like faded. And I think that most of the graveyard is done now. I think that I might place like a couple of more decor stuff. Like I can place these things on here. I wanted to place here a log, and you might ask me why, but I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you why. And that is because there is this llama statue, and I want to place it on the log, a bit like that, so that it's something weird is up here. And I wanted to place this like fairy up in here, as if she's just sitting on this stone by the edge of this grave, so that this graveyard looks more finished. And what I wanted to do is go for some of these exterior lights, not like that. I might place it in here actually. I was thinking like no, but I might. That's gonna look fine. Like on one side we'll have one, on the other side it will be fallen. I think it's cute. Not cute, but I think it's creepy enough for me to use that. And as for some real outdoor lights, I was thinking to use these romantic garden ones. And I'm not placing any lights where we have graves. I might place some candles actually. I think that it matches the whole graveyard vibes. I might even place some kind of chandelier somewhere, but I'm not sure that I want to do that. And I might some light like that instead of this dying out light. I think that that would look better, as if somebody just forgotten that. And I think for these graves, I might go not for candles, but something like that, so that we have like all these different spots with different stuff around. And I might place something like that in here, as if somebody still try to take care of it. And it looks kind of gloomy and dark and creepy, I would say, but that is mostly the vibe I was going for. And I think that must be the graveyard done. So we have these tiny wicked pathways all the way around here. We have millions of graves in here. In my imagination, maybe this graveyard is ancient. And in here we have a tiny chapel. Inside we have a tiny sitting area where you can pray if you want to. In my imagination, maybe this is some kind of an altar. I'm not very religious person, so I'm not sure if I did it right. but I decided to make this area like long forgotten and abandoned. And here we have a coffin. So if you're playing as a vampire, you can sleep in here. And mostly that must be it. This graveyard looks kind of nice in the light. It doesn't look as creepy. I will be concerned with this fallen outside light, but it looks much more interesting in the night, I think. So the lot is on the gallery. You can find it by my hashtag Gloveran, just like my YouTube name. It's called Forgotten Graveyard, but I think that it still turned out to be like a nice lot, and I really like the way it looks at night with all these candles around. That must be a nice spot for you to celebrate Halloween, except for the fact that it doesn't have a toilet anywhere. But do graveyards really need toilets? I'm not sure they do. And I think that it must be. Thank you all for watching. If you like the video like that, you can subscribe to my channel. And that must be a goodbye.